Retro Japanese music has seen an unlikely internet fandom in recent years, and singer-songwriter Anri has been at the forefront of it. Anri has released over 40 albums to date, but it's her 1983 album Timely that has the internet obsessed. Enough so that it was reissued last year for the first time since its release over 40 years ago. This album is the quintessential introduction to both city pop and the rest of Anri's incredible discography. It stands as one of the genre's finest works and is one of my all-time favorite albums. So today, I wanted to take a look at what makes Timely so special. Timely is Anri's 6th studio album and was released on December 5th, 1983 by 4Life Records. It consists of 11 songs and is just over 46 minutes in length. It's a shorter album and it's no surprise considering how fast she was pumping out albums in the 80s. Hisaku Okobu was responsible for the album's photography, which was done in Hawaii, presumably during one of Anri's tours there. This was Anri's first album to make it on the Oricon chart, which is Japan's most recognized music ranking system. And it was the 10th highest selling album in Japan in 1984, selling over 500,000 copies. The first 50,000 vinyl copies even included an 8-page fashion calendar. Timely's success earned Anri a performance on the prestigious TV show NHK Red and White Song Battle, an annual New Year's Eve event that features the top Japanese artists. She performed the album's opening song Cat's Eye, and needless to say, her appearance helped her popularity skyrocket. Cat's Eye and I Can't Stop the Loneliness are the two singles featured in Timely, and both songs were extremely popular upon their initial release. Her first single was featured as the anime opening in the 1983 anime series Cat's Eye. Since it was one of the first J-pop songs to be used as an anime theme song, Anri wasn't fond of singing it originally, since most people at the time viewed the anime as something aimed for children. However, Cat's Eye ended up being a big hit, with it holding the #1 spot on the Oricon chart for 4 weeks. I Can't Stop the Loneliness made it to the #4 spot on the Oricon chart, and although it didn't match the success of Cat's Eye, it has become one of Anri's most popular tracks and is commonly played during her live shows. Considering how many talented individuals were involved behind the scenes for this album, it's no surprise that its production and instrumentation are top-notch. Timely features two of the most renowned Japanese music masterminds of the 80s, with Toshiki Karumatsu as the lead producer and assistance from Tetsuchi Hayashi. It also features keyboardist Jun Sato, guitarist Masaki Matsubara, and Yuri Kokobu and sister trio Eve on backing vocals. I'd say this record is one of Karumatsu's finest works. The horn and string arrangements are beautiful, the choruses are both catchy and memorable, and the electric guitar and saxophone solos are phenomenal. Even if you can't understand the lyrics, Anri's delicate vocals are more than enough to feel the emotion behind the lyrical motif of summer romance. The album opens with Cat's Eye, an energetic disco arrangement. The brass, slap bass, and small portions of voice acting from the anime's characters add so much depth in comparison to the original opening. Windy Summer instantly grabs you with its infectious melody and breezy feel. The lyrics depict a vibrant beach atmosphere and describe one's desire to surrender to the allure of the waves. It has a smooth saxophone solo and is one of the album's standout songs. Stay By Me is a vibrant dance track that maintains the summertime atmosphere. It's about one pleading to hold on to their love alongside the realization that it may not last forever. The guitar solo for Matsubara here is especially great. A Hope from Sad Street is another funky track with an upbeat feel. The song's doo-wop style vocals alongside the synthesizer and guitar makes for such a pleasant listen. The lyrics depict a sense of reminiscence as one walks through a city, reflecting on past memories. You can especially appreciate the backing vocals on this track. You Are Not Alone is an R&B ballad that slows down the pace from the previous tracks. The lyrics describe a comforting presence and reassurance given to someone feeling lost. I Can't Stop the Loneliness is probably the catchiest song on the album, and its vocals give the impression that Anri is an idol. Shyness Boy is my favorite song on the album. It's a groovy track about falling in love with someone who is, you guessed it, shy. The sax solo may be over the top, but it's immaculate in my opinion. Lost Love in the Rain is another ballad with a very elegant sound. Definitely one of the more underrated songs on the album. Driving My Love is a simple but catchy track about one receiving a sudden call from a long-lost love, leading them to impulsively drive towards their town in a state of love-struck confusion. Goodnight for You is a calming track that begins with a blues-inspired piano riff before transitioning into a soulful lullaby. It manifests such a dreamy and intimate atmosphere. Remember Summer Days is the last track of the 2011 CD remaster version of Timely. It's a groovy song about one's nostalgic reflection on lost love during the autumn season, and the perfect track to reminisce about the summer sun. I feel like with how popular this album is, people tend to avoid criticizing it, but I do want to point out a few critiques from both myself and common ones I've read online. Now, I wouldn't change many things about Timely, and the few suggestions I do have are quite minor. To start, I think Windy Summer would make a better opening track than Cat's Eye. I've always preferred the ending of I Can't Stop the Loneliness that is done during Henri's live concerts, where the entire ensemble stops on Henri's last iteration of saying I Can't Stop. Another remark about this song is that it becomes far too repetitive after listening to it excessively in comparison to my other favorite songs on the album. I also think Goodnight for You could be a tad bit shorter. The most common criticism online I found about Timely is that as a whole it sounds too repetitive. The songs, especially the first half of the tracklist, do blend together to an extent, but I think you can make the same argument towards plenty of other city pop songs than the ones on this album. Another one is that the quality of the album's top tracks don't match the album as a whole. I've seen the odd complaint about Henri's vocals and even her role in producing a few of the album's songs, but the only thing I would say is that her vocals do get better as you go further down the tracklist. Timely didn't reinvent the wheel. It simply perfected what was already being done at the time. It's supposed to be a fun and feel-good album, and it's peak city pop in my opinion. So if you don't like this album, then you probably won't like the city pop genre as a whole. Since I first listened to Timely back in 2022, it's become my most listened to album of any genre. The catchy melodies and instrument solos paired with Henri's warm vocals makes this an album that I don't think I'll ever get tired of. Timely gives off such a joyful and nostalgic feel, and is definitely what I would recommend listening to if you're feeling gloomy or need something to blast while driving. Overall, Timely does an excellent job of blending traditional Japanese music and pop into the much beloved city pop sound. This album is a testament to the incredible music era that was 80s Japan. Timely may be the most popular Henri album, but she's got plenty of other great albums that range in sound. I'd recommend starting with Heaven Beach, Bikini, and Cool. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more Henri and city pop content, and let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this album.